92.54, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversation.
It's art, it's culture,
Movies, gossip and trends, sports, drama.
we bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
To keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine. Hello, fabulous ladies. Welcome to the talk show that's all about sisterhood, empowerment, and unfiltered conversation. We will be focusing on women. We believe in women.
We are really changing.
We are creating a safe space for women to connect, thrive, and share.
Just because you're a woman on a bike, you're labeled in a certain way.
It's not just a talk show, it's a movement.
When they're standing, we need to stand out.
From heartwarming tales to hilarious adventures.
They could ask me, Catherine, why are you learning?
We are turning the spotlight on women who are breaking barriers in their individual fields.
You have to have a vision.
You are the leaders of Kenya today.
Keeping it honest and relatable.
Mental health is real.
Yes.
Where there is no communication, there is no relationship.
Join the sisterhood every Sunday at 4 p.m. on KBC TV for Dada's Show.
You almost messed up.
You need to tell me the truth.
I did help your dad find the guy.
And?
Then your dad did the rest.
Alex, you're a pathological liar.
The earlier you tell her, the better.
Don't tell her anything.
Nili notice anategea hizo pesa zako za insurance.
Joshua si mtu mzuri.
I have to give it to you. I'm not sure whether you're not greedy or you're just not ambitious.
Mind your business. Kama ile gani ilipatikana asili ulitumia, ilitoka wapi?
Hebu waambie kuhusu ile gani yenye ulinunua after Jabali ameatakiwa.
What?
Praise the Lord. My name is Pastor Tim Mwangi, and I want to invite you every Saturday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1 for the Angaza Show. This is the place of bold conversations, discussions, testimonies, and life-changing, transformative, informative gospel show. It is now a norm. Friday ni siku ya sherehe, Saturday ni siku ya sherehe, Sunday ni siku ya kukunywa supu ukitoa hangover.
You know, when you wake up from hangover, the first thing you kutoa lock.
Yeah.
That afternoon sikuenda kutoa lock.
I didn't even know how I moved from Kariobangi to Westland. Niliamka mahali, nauliza soja, huku ni wapi? Nauliza, wewe unataka huku kukue wapi?
Where we also play you the best and the latest in gospel music, inspiring songs and inspiring conversations and testimonies. Only on KBC Channel 1. So see you there, and thank you for always tuning in. God bless you.
Well, thank you for joining us on this last day of January. You are watching Easy Friday. It's exactly 9 p.m. Join me as I bring you up to date with the latest in the world of news as well as business. And later on, I'll be telling you what's happening in the world of sports. My name is Wairimo Jenga, and today is Easy Friday. We take it easy this evening and we take a look at the highlights.
Why I would want, I'm proposing a open commission of inquiry, including all relevant stakeholders in this country, is so that we can go to the root cause.
Take this opportunity to urge the agencies of administration of justice, investigate thoroughly and come to the root cause.
CS Muturi and National Assembly Speaker call for action. IEBC selection panel to recruit electorate commissioners in 3 months. Women leaders term as unwarranted, a petition seeking the removal of Chief Justice Martha Koome.
It is irresponsible for us to engage in politics now, because if we engage in politics now, the people will suffer.
President Kithure Kindiki says government will deliver on its promises despite political theatrics. Well, thank you for staying with us. You can join us on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. We're also live on YouTube. And also you can join us on Twitter at Carol W. Jenga Wairimo. Also, you can find me as well there. And we take a look now at the first story of the day. And Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi is proposing a commission of inquiry to look into reported cases of abduction and related killings in the country. Speaking after visiting the city mortuary to show solidarity with a family that are seeking their missing kin, Muturi said Kenyans need to know who is behind the abductions. His sentiments came as Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, called for thorough investigations into the alleged abductions.
Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi is calling for the establishment of an open commission of inquiry to get to the root cause of what he claims to be increased cases of abductions and killings in the country.
The reason why I would want, I'm proposing a open commission of inquiry, including all relevant stakeholders in this country, is so that we can go to the root cause. And therefore, and you know, the result, it would be recommendations which are actionable.
We need an urgent public of inquiry, serious one, so that everybody can now feel free to come and talk publicly, so that even the former abducted people can come and talk, so that Gaido can come and say how he was bundled in a probox in a police station.
Muturi, who had gone to the city mortuary to show solidarity with families trying to trace their missing relatives, said it is only a commission that can undertake an in-depth investigation into the matters and propose the best way forward.
One of the fathers here is not even able to appear because of the agony that is been taken through for the last 40 days. It is not normal. We must now address this matter with finality, with a view to getting to the root cause of these abductions and extrajudicial killings.
Nsioko Martin ni yango yangu aliyepotea tarehe 17 na ripoti yenye tulipata ni kuwa alipatikana tarehe 18 hapa City Mortuary.
My father has been missing from 28th this month. That was on Tuesday. Tumejaribu kumtafuta everywhere. We are still not finding him.
So we are still searching for him and we are still hopeful that he will be found alive.
His sentiment coming as the Speaker of National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, urged security apparatus to investigate thoroughly and come to the root cause of who is kidnapping Kenyans, only to be found killed.
The agencies of administration of justice, the Office of the IG, the Office of DCI, the Office of DPP, and internal security organs to investigate thoroughly and come to the root cause of who is kidnapping people, and later they are found dead.
Wetangula said given that security apparatus had distanced themselves from the kidnappings, it was only just for the country to know who the criminals are.
Who are these criminal elements in our midst who are unlawfully arresting people, causing their disappearance, and eventually they are found dead? We shudder to get back to any situation yenye tulikuwa tunapata miili katika River Yala na kwingine. Serikali ya Kenya Kwanza iliahidi na inazingatia respect for human rights.
Timothy Kipnusu for Easy Friday.
Now, the Law Society of Kenya wants top security chiefs summoned to explain the whereabouts of Kelvin Mudhomi, who has been missing since 16th December 2024. LSK wants the Inspector General of Police and Director of Criminal Investigations summoned to shed light on details surrounding the disappearance of Mudhomi, a resident of Githurai 45.
Barely 24 hours after IG Douglas Kanja and DCI Mohamed Amin appeared before Justice Chacha Mwita to explain the whereabouts of the three missing Mlolongo men.
Enjoy the Christmas festival and many other holidays that were.
LSK wants the two top police officers summoned again, this time to explain the whereabouts of Kelvin Mudhomi and Steve Mbisi Kavingo, who was picked from Lolongo alongside three others.
The first, second, third, and ninth respondents are before the court with unclean hands, having been active parties in the proceedings that are pending, or rather were pending before the Kibera law courts.
So it's about working out the exchange, and I think my colleague here, Mr. Mango, has proposed 3 days on each side.
During the mentioning of the case, it emerged that the circumstances surrounding the disappearance of Kelvin Mudhomi was kente.
Which was sworn on 6th of January 2025. However, my Lord, I note that in our response, we did not include the 8th petitioner.
Yes.
Under the circumstances, my Lord, we will also be humbly praying for leave to put in a supplementary affidavit.
Before you, in full custody and possession of the pleadings. In that light, Your Lordship, there is no requirement in my view, and I beg to be guided by wisdom, that Mr. Nyamodi can therefore say that he's separately representing the government outside the scope of Article 156.
Yes, I doubt that the matter will rest.
Justice Mamuya has directed all petitioners and interested parties to serve their submission and rejoin us by 13 February, with the hearing set for 14 February.
For good order, I'll have a very limited window. If after the conclusion of the hearing on the 14th, I require to summon anyone, I will summon them. In that coming week, I will not then move my ruling date of the 21st.
The other petitioners in the case, Billy Mwangi, Peter Muteti, Bernard Kavole, Gideon Kibet and Ronnie Kiplangat, surfaced on 14 January and were reunited with their families. Ruth Wamboy for Easy Friday.
Now, the search for 7 commissioners to serve in the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission will kickstart on Saturday when the selection panel invites applications from interested candidates. And panel in its first sitting Friday announced that the process of selecting the new commissioners will take approximately 3 months, after which they will forward the successful candidates to the president for appointment. Nelson Makanda has in the meantime been re-elected as the chairperson of the panel, having served in the same capacity in the panel whose appointment was revoked by President William Ruto.
After months of uncertainty, the journey to reconstitute the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IBC) ahead of the 2027 polls has officially commenced. With the swearing-in of Caroline Kituku, nominated by the Law Society of Kenya, and Fatuma Saman from the Interreligious Council of Kenya, the two remaining members of the IBC selection panel being sworn in on Friday.
I, Caroline Kituku, having been appointed.
I, Fatuma Saman, having been appointed as a member of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission selection panel.
At the swearing-in event, Chief Justice Martha Koome reiterated her call on the panel to do due diligence and ensure it identifies persons of integrity to lead the electoral body.
However, when these elections are mismanaged, the consequences are severe, threatening the national unity and public trust.
The swearing-in finally paving way for the first formal meeting of the panel. First things first, the task at hand, the election of its chairperson and vice chair. From a closed-door meeting that lasted for hours, the panel announced that it had settled on Dr. Nelson Makanda, who represents the Interreligious Organization, and Linda Kiome, who was nominated by the panel by the Parliamentary Service Commission (PSC) to deputize him.
Your role in constituting for Kenyans an IBC is foundational to the strength of our democracy.
Makanda had served in the impunged selection panel that had earlier been appointed before the Azimio coalition went to the streets demanding for transparent reconstitution of the electoral body.
It demands that you act with integrity, resisting any influence that seeks to compromise the credibility of the process. Your guiding principle must be merit, and merit alone.
On Saturday, the selection panel will advertise the 9 vacant positions, including that of the chair. Though the appointment of the 9-member selection panel had been hit by legal hurdles, the High Court last Friday paved the way for President William Ruto to appoint the panel after a petition challenging the constitution was thrown out. The commission is currently without any commissioner, which has largely impacted on the operations of the electoral body, which is yet to conduct the boundary delimitation exercise and conduct by-elections in Ugunja, Magarini and Banisa constituencies, as well as in several wards.
The absence of a duly constituent commission has denied some constituencies and wards their fundamental right to representation in the National Assembly and also in the county assemblies. This is not just an administrative challenge, but it has been a democratic disruption.
The panel has until April 27th to ensure that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IBC) is fully reconstituted. Abdiaziz Hashim from Parliament Buildings for Easy Friday.
Now, a section of women leaders in the country are warning against plans to censure Chief Justice Martha Koome and judges of the Supreme Court. Speaking Friday in Nairobi, women led by Econ Network Africa President Dr. Jennifer Riria termed the petition for the removal of Chief Justice Koome as unwarranted.
2 prominent lawyers are now men under siege after initiating plans for the removal from office of Chief Justice Martha Koome and the entire Supreme Court bench.
Women recognize that these unwarranted and vicious attacks against the Chief Justice, the justices of Supreme Court, seeks to discredit the judiciary and cause Kenyans to lose faith in it.
The 2 senior legal counsel have been accused of orchestrating plans to allegedly destabilize the judiciary.
We urge the petitioners to consider
immediate and unconditional withdrawal of the petition for the removal of the Honorable Chief Justice Martha Koome and the other judges of the Supreme Court.
Speaking in Nairobi on Friday, the women termed the petition to remove Koome as part of an elaborate plan to tarnish her illustrious career as Chief Justice and bring to an end her transformative leadership of the judiciary.
Honorable Martha Koome has steered the judiciary that is practically ensuring that justice is accessible.
The country, and indeed the women, are not lost to the achievements during her tenure. These include the establishment of gender justice courts, expansion of small claims courts, promotion of a multi-door approach to justice.
They vowed to lead Kenyans to reject the CJ's ouster bid, arguing it amounts to undermining the independence of the judiciary.
We urge religious leaders, professional groups, media, civil society groups, private sector, and all Kenyans of goodwill to defend the independence of the judiciary, even as we continue to demand for judicial accountability.
Joseph Ohungu for Easy Friday.
So if you are also...
Now I bring you the latest from DRC Congo, where the Congolese army has enlisted the support of allied militia to repulse the M23 rebels who have threatened to march to the Democratic Republic of Congo's capital, Kinshasa. Now at Bukavu town, the DRC government has continued to rally civilians and Nyatura, a local militia, to fight alongside the armed forces of Democratic of Congo.
The conflict in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo appears to be approaching the tipping point after the M23, in an announcement made by Colonel Nangaa, threatened to extend their capturing of major towns in DRC until the fall of Kinshasa. The ultimate goal, to topple President Felix Tshisekedi. Reports say the rebels are currently advancing towards Bukavu, the second biggest city in the mineral-rich East, despite international calls for a ceasefire. In response, the DRC government is said to be mobilizing its military and civilian resources, including the enlisting of the local militia Nyatura, to repulse the advancing of the M23 rebels. On Thursday, Colonel Nangaa, who heads the rebel group, presented the rebels as the new administrators of Goma, promising to restore internet access, water and electricity supply. The fighting has forced about 500,000 people from their homes, worsening an already dire humanitarian crisis, according to the United Nations. Peacekeepers from several countries have been killed in the conflict, with South African troops suffering the highest casualties of 13 soldiers, which has precipitated frosty relations with Rwanda, whom it accuses of attacking its soldiers. The East African community has tasked President William Ruto, who chairs the summit, to reach out to his South African Development Community counterpart Emmerson Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe to facilitate a ceasefire deal struck by the two communities. Nancy Okware, Easy Friday.
That story takes us to our first commercial break. We'll be back with the latest in the world of politics.
Shilingi 1,000. Toka kwa hiyo sanduku. Stoki. Kesho yangu mkuri. Rudisha hiyo pesa kwa sanduku namba 10.
Ongeza ifike 50.
Kwa nini? Nataka ukule popcorn ukitizama runinga, sawa? 100,000 Kenya shillings! Inch TV Smart 1,000 Kenya shillings! Yes!
You almost messed up.
You need to tell me the truth.
I did help your dad find the guy.
And?
Then your dad did the rest.
Alex, you're a pathological liar.
The earlier you tell her, the better.
Don't tell her anything.
Nili notice
anategea hizo pesa zako za insurance.
Joshua si mtu mzuri.
I have to give it to you. I'm not sure whether you're not greedy ama you're just not ambitious.
Mind your business. Kama ni gani ilipatikana asili ulitumia, ilitoka wapi?
Hebu waambie kuhusu ile gani yenye ulinunua after Jabali ameatakiwa.
What?
Light of my life. Sorry, it's all that you can say. You're like a dream come true. Just wanna be with you. Remember when I was young, and so were you. In case you didn't know, baby, I'm crazy about you.
Welcome back. You're still watching Easy Friday on this last day of January. Now, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki now says the government will not be distracted by political theatrics, but will instead focus on delivering its development agenda. Speaking in Nyeri County while inspecting the upgrading of the Mwega-Mairo Road to bitumen standards, Kindiki emphasized that the Kenya Kwanza administration is committed to addressing the real issues affecting Kenyans. The DP, however, steered off politics of the region amid claims that the mountain is shifting its political allegiance.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki was in Nyeri County for a development inspection tour. While inspecting ongoing projects, among them upgrading of roads to bitumen standards, Kindiki steered clear of politics, choosing instead to highlight the government's commitment to infrastructure development.
Sasa hivi serikali inajihusisha katika mambo ya kutatua mashida ya wananchi. Rais na wale wote tunafanya kazi katika hii serikali, hatuna nafasi ya ugomvi, ya fitina, ya vita. Tunataka tuhakikishe hii miaka imebaki kidogo, tumesukuma mabarabara, tumesukuma maji, tumesukuma stima, tumesukuma ajira ya vijana wetu ili nchi yetu iwe mahali pazuri. Wakati wa siasa si utafika? Si ukifika tutapika siasa ya kawaida? But it is irresponsible for us to engage in politics now, because if we engage in politics now, the people will suffer because service delivery is going to be disrupted.
The DP is saying following the stabilization of the economy, the focus has shifted to fulfilling the promises the government made to Kenyans.
Uchumi sasa umeanza kuimarika na yale mambo yalikuwa yamekwama kwa sababu ya athari za COVID-19. Sasa rais amekazana, mambo ni dhabiti, sasa ni kusonga na maendeleo.
His visit to Nyeri, the backyard of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, comes amid speculation about shifting political allegiance in the Mount Kenya region.
Nataka Kenya moja ama Kenya yenyu wenyewe.
However, leaders accompanying Kindiki dismissed claims that the mountain has shifted politically.
Nasikia wanaeneza uvumi ati tumehama. Mulima tumehama kwa serikali, kukaa kwa serikali kwenye maendeleo iko. Ama mnataka tuhame tuende kwenye hakuna maendeleo? Sisi ni watu wa kutafuta maendeleo.
Nimewaambia sisi tumesema hata katika cha tutajiandikisha. Tumesema tutafuata ratiba na mipangilio ya serikali kwa sababu sisi ndio tumeunda serikali hii.
Kindiki further revealed that the government has invested over 17 billion shillings in road projects in Nyeri County for the next 3 years to enhance transport and economic growth. For Easy Friday, I'm Gladys Mongai.
The Toyota Kenya Foundation has partnered with First Lady Mama Rachel Ruto to train women and youth on tractor operations, agribusiness and leadership skills. The partnership is set to benefit 12 counties. Speaking during the conclusion of the agricultural, or rather the Nakuru edition of agricultural training, where 150 women and youth were trained and certified, the Mama Doing Good Initiative Director of Environment and Climate Action, Arnold Kipchumba, reiterated the need to invest in knowledge-driven agricultural productivity that has also lays emphasis on mechanization. This even as he challenged more women and youth to venture into agricultural activities.
What a woman can, what a man can do, a woman can do better. Mimi nilikuwa nimetense like siwezi, lakini the moment nilishika hiyo steering na kuambia kila mtu anaweza.
We need to ensure that we provide our population with the right skilling when it comes to agriculture. And this skilling also looks at even mechanization and automotive skilling, because it does not mean that a tractor can only be operated by men. Tractors can also be operated by women.
Vile tuko sasa hatulimi ama hatufanyi kilimo vile tulikuwa tunafanya, just for leisure ama just to be seen as busy ama active in your farms. We want to see that at the end of the day you have something that can generate an income for you.
Of Kakamega County MCAs have issued a 24-hour ultimatum to West Kenya Sugar Company to vacate the Mumias sugar factory premises. The MCAs, largely drawn from the Mumias region, say that the involvement of West Kenya Sugar Company and RAI in running the Mumias distillery and core generation plants is intended to sabotage the revival of the Mumias factory.
The move by West Kenya Sugar Company to initiate efforts to revive the distillery and cogeneration plants at Mumias Company Limited continues to face backlash, with a section of members of Kakamega County Assembly calling for their withdrawal.
We are seeing just one RAI, who is a competitor for Mumias Sugar Company Limited. Now he is coming in for purposes of running the cogen and the ethanol plant. It is very impossible.
Raw material ya cogen na ethanol ni byproducts za sugar. Kwa nini wanapatia mtu ambaye kwanza hana raw materials kuja kufungua viwanda ambavyo vinahitaji byproducts za sugar?
The MCAs drawn from Mumias East, Mumias West and Matungu have threatened to mobilize farmers to stop supply of cane to the miller.
We are giving West Kenya 24 hours to vacate Mumias Sugar Company presence, failure to which our farmers will stop supplying sugarcane to the factory, and we shall lead a mother of all this demonstration to take action by our hands to evict them.
24 hours to move from West Kenya to evacuate the premises of Mumias Sugar. Kama si hivyo, maandamano yatafanyika hapa, na tunaomba kwamba hii factory ikaweze kufanya kazi. Hii confusion itakuwa ni lose hope kwa wakulima wote ambao wameweza kupanda miwa, mimi nikiwa mmoja wao. Sasa watu ya kukata watoto
Over a week ago, during the launch of the first ever bonus payments to farmers who supplied cane to Mumias Sugar, President William Ruto called for the initiation of plans to revive the factory.
Unajua kuna watu wa fitina wanafikiri ya kwamba tulienda kutafuta pesa ya serikali kuja kulipa bonus. Kwani mnaona sisi ni wazimu? Huyu mtu ambaye anasimamia hii kampuni nimempatia masharti na nilimwambia mambo ni mangapi? Hakuna hii lukumba no.
Nancy Okware, Easy Friday.
The family of Joseph Nganga Mohia took to the streets to demand the whereabouts of their kin who went missing during the fire incident at Modern Pacific Furniture in Ruiru. The family, which was accompanied by friends, made a peaceful demonstration to the DCI headquarters to demand justice for their lost kin. They now allege Joseph Nganga, alias Jose, died during the fire incident and his body was disposed of secretly and as an animal carcass. Now, however, Modern Furniture CEO Gibson Murage dispelled the allegations, saying they also worked tirelessly to help find Joseph. He said officers from the DCI and forensic unit were present on the scene and also confirmed it was a carcass. The family now wants DCI to unfold the mystery.
Uko na masosi mengi wa kukosa mtoto wetu. Nataka haki ya mtoto wangu, akionekana nitafurahia, niende nimpeleke pahali nikipatie kumuona nikamuona.
Wenda alipotelea wapi na alikuwa anafanya nini?
On Tuesday jioni alipigia huo kazini yangu simu. Akamwambia materials ziliingia na analala job. Kuna matandikio ya kitanda alikuwa amepewa afanye hiyo kazi. Na alikuwa pia amepigia bibi yake simu akasema analala huko kazi.
Ile time walikuja home, walikuja na vitu zingine. Kuna kitu wanapeleka hivi. Kinataka kumaanisha ni eti. Walisema hakuna CCTV kwao. Hiyo ndo aliambia familia. Ukiangalia hapo kwa murage hapo juu kuna CCTV.
Mimi sitasema mzoga ni ya umbu ama ni ya kitu yoyote. Mimi nagoja ripoti ya DCI. Mimi naweza sema na kwangu na mdomo ikiwe sio hivyo. Mimi sina uchunguzi yote naweza angalia ama naweza jua hii ni ya nini ama hii ni ya nini. Mimi yenye najua walibeba pass, wakabeba ile kitu yote wanabebaga na wakaenda nazo. Zaidi ya hivyo mimi siwezi jua kama ilikuwa ni umbwa ama ni binadamu ama ni nini.
Want to look through this matter identity because the most affected are the young people.
I believe purpose is why you are here.
Okay.
Yes. At such a time as this, I'm going to bring Macy into the world and she's going to have this assignment, she's going to carry this burden. Okay. So it is an assignment that has been given to us by God. David
served the purposes of God in his generation. No man will ever live to affect 2 generations.
We now focus on the world of business, and you're still watching Easy Friday, and Kenya Power is calling for the lifting of the moratorium on onboarding new independent power producers to increase electricity generation. Managing Director Engineer Joseph Sirol says demand for electricity is steadily growing, necessitating the need to prepare by licensing more electricity generators. Now, Engineer Sirol made these remarks as Kenya Power announced a first half net profit of 9.97 billion shillings, prompting the firm to end a 9-year interim dividend payout drought. Kenya Power reported a net profit of 9.97 billion shillings for the 6-month period ending December 2024, compared to the 319 million shillings recorded during the same period the previous year. The profit was powered by a 5% increase in electricity sales, reduced power purchase costs and lower finance costs.
But if you have to compare the tariff that customers pay from looking back at when it was approved in 2023 to the end of the period we are announcing or talking about today, it has reduced by about 1.5 shillings. So year in, year out, the tariff has actually been on a downward trend. So that in as much as we sold more units, the revenue we got from those more units is actually less than what we got for the previous period. And the main driver here is that reduction in the tariff year by year as we look at the tariff control period.
Engineer Cyril says Kenya's peak power demand has risen to 2,304 megawatts against the current available capacity of 2,320 megawatts, leaving a very narrow reserve margin. The utility firm is urging the immediate lifting of the moratorium on new power generation projects to meet the surging demand.
It should have been lifted like yesterday. I think you already see the razor thin margin that we have between that is the difference between our installed capacity and the latest peak.
Engineer Cyril raised concerns over rising cases of vandalism, revealing that Kenya Power lost 100 transformers during the period. He called for stricter measures, including a ban on copper exports to curb the menace.
That vice really has to stop. It has to stop for the sake of our villagers, it has to stop for the sake of our relatives, and indeed for the sake of this country.
Now, you on average paid about 3.3% more for commodities this month when compared to a year ago, according to the latest data from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. The rate of inflation rose to a 4-month high of 3.3%, up from 3% last month, driven by higher prices of some food items, tuition fee in private primary schools, and petroleum products.
Kenya adopted a new way of tabulating the rate of inflation that saw a reduction of sampled items from 330 items to 275 to conform with the East African community. Under the new framework, classification of core and non-core inflation metrics was reviewed. In tabulation of the January 2025 figures that indicate that on average commodity prices increased by 3.3% when compared to a year ago. The price increase was mainly fueled by rising prices in the food and non-alcoholic beverages category that rose by 6.1% and the transport category at 70 basis points. Data from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics indicates that among the food items that recorded price increases were tomatoes, onions, cabbages, sukuma wiki, tuition fees in private primary schools, fuel, and maize. On the other hand, the commodities whose prices reduced included cooking oil, mangoes, electricity, and cooking gas. However, the price reductions were not big enough to offset the average increases, leading to the rate of inflation rising to a 4-month high of 3.3%. Nduta Mokami for Easy Friday.
East African Breweries Limited increasing the number of smallholder farmers contracted under its sorghum farming program. EABL Group Chief Executive Officer Jane Karoko says contract farming is part of the farm's strategy to lower costs of production through reduced imports. She made the remarks when EABL announced a 20% increase in the first half net profit to 8.1 billion shillings.
East Africa Breweries Limited is working with the Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization to enhance distribution of quality sorghum seeds to smallholder farmers. East Africa Breweries Group Chief Executive Officer says the firm plans to double the number of contracted smallholder farmers who grow sorghum and barley from the current 40,000.
Murang'a County, we have Tharaka Nithi, we have Homa Bay, Siaya, we have across the country it is taking place. So, and we use it to make beer. In the business, we have, as Kenya Breweries, a strategy to get 80% of our local input locally. That includes sorghum and other inputs within the production.
Contract farming is part of East Africa Breweries' strategy to increase support to the economy and reduce production cost by lowering raw material imports.
So we keep recruiting because the yields are different. But also, on the other hand, sorghum is always a food. So also, as we encourage farmers and give them better seed to produce, we also, WFP sometimes buys, but also people are using it for consumption. So it's an ongoing initiative. And right now, I know the one which is very topical is the one with Murang'a County.
She made the remarks when EABL announced 8.1 billion shillings in first half net profit that was powered by lower inflation, borrowing cost, and higher sales.
Posted a net revenue of just under 68 billion, reflecting a 2% increase compared to the same period last year. Profit after tax for the period grew by 20%, reaching 8.1 billion on the back of currency appreciation in Kenya and Uganda.
This is despite challenges such as high cost of material inputs and illicit trade.
Challenges to our business prevailed, including shrinking disposable income, high cost of material inputs, including grain, sugar, and selected packaging materials. Illicit trade continued to grow, impacting our business and endangering the lives of consumers.
The company has proposed an interim dividend payout of 2 shillings and 50 cents per share, which is more than double on the 1 shilling per share that shareholders pocketed during a similar period last year. Benson Tuba reporting for Easy Friday.
A digital soil sampling and testing program has been rolled out by the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization in 7 counties. Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization researcher Peterson Njeru says the initiative will enable farmers to determine the appropriate fertilizer to use based on identified nutrient deficiencies.
A digital soil sampling and testing program is being carried out on a pilot basis in 7 counties, namely Tharaka Nithi, Kitui, Makueni, Trans Nzoia, Uasin Gishu, and Kajiado. The pilot is expected to inform the countrywide rollout. In Embu, the process is being spearheaded by 60 agripreneurs who have been trained by the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization.
We have trained, together with our CARO experts, we have trained our entrepreneurs who are going around the county in every ward with the sub-areas, agriculture officers and the chiefs. They'll be going around from today and they'll be taking samples.
Jeru says the program seeks to inform government policies such as the type of subsidized fertilizer that will be tailored to the specific soil types in the different parts of the country.
Tafanya sampling kwa wakulima, hiyo sample itakuja kwetu, tutaifanyia analysis, alafu after kuifanyia analysis tutapeana recommendations yenye tutatumia mkulima, tumwambie shamba yake mambo ya fertility inataka kufanywa namna gani.
Farmers are optimistic that the soil testing process will lead to improved crop yields.
Tuna matumaini kwa sababu tumejua kwa kweli mchanga kama vile inavyosemekana in the mainstay of the country, ikipimwa tutajua ni jinsi gani tunaweza kutumia mchanga ili tupate mazao mengi.
Frederick Muki for Easy Friday.
US President Donald Trump says he will follow through with his threat to impose 25% border taxes on imports from Canada and Mexico from tomorrow. President Trump says a decision about whether this would include oil from those countries had not yet been made. Here are the details of this and other stories making headlines across the globe.
US President Donald Trump says the new tariffs on Canada and Mexico was aimed to address the large amounts of undocumented migrants and the fentanyl that come across US borders, as well as trade deficits with its neighbors. Around 40% of the crude that runs through US oil refineries is imported, and the vast majority of it comes from Canada. President Trump suggested that he was still planning to impose new tariffs on China, which he had earlier this month said would be 10%, but did not give any details. During the election campaign, President Trump threatened to hit Chinese-made products with tariffs of up to 60%, but held off any action, instead ordering his administration to study the issue. Meanwhile, Japan is considering offering support for a $44 billion gas pipeline in Alaska as it seeks to court US President Donald Trump and forestall potential trade friction. Officials in Tokyo expect President Trump may rise the project, which has said is key for US prosperity and security, when he meets Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba next week. Elsewhere, Sri Lanka is set to relax a ban on some vehicle imports in a sign the country is returning to normal after a severe economic crisis that toppled a president. From tomorrow, imports of buses, trucks and utility vehicles will be allowed to resume. while restrictions on other vehicles are expected to be gradually lifted. Frederick Muki for Easy Friday.
Shilingi 1,000. Toka kwa hiyo sanduku. Stoki. Oh. Kesho yangu mkuri. Rudisha hiyo pesa kwa sanduku namba 10.
Ongeza ifike 50.
Kwa nini? Anataka ukule popcorn ukitizama runinga, sawa? 100,000 Kenya shillings! Inch TV Smart 1,000 Kenya shillings! Yes!
I'm sending you my pin location. Please send your boys in 45 minutes if I don't call back.
The man needs to know I'm spying on you. But that doesn't mean we are enemies. Then at least let's make it believable.
I am tired of cleaning your dirty mess each and every time, mother.
Who are you and how can I help you?
You can start by getting out of my way.
No one crosses me and gets away with it.
Give it a rest. The guy is dead.
Why do you want me to take a rest so hard?
Do you really want me to give the half SIM card to Kaikara?
Wow, nice try. I'll have Ruth drop them.
Why now?
Are you not tired?
You know when I find out you are involved katika abduction ya Alice, Nils and I will make...
You will do what, Kaikara?
Now I take you through the day's sports, and we start with Kenya Prisons men's team and KCB women's team will lead a team of 6 Kenyan clubs to the Africa Club Championship to be held in Libya and Nigeria in April. GSU, KPA, Kenya Prisons Women and Kenya Pipeline are the other teams that will compete in the continental event.
After the conclusion of the Volleyball League in its third round, 6 Kenyan clubs will represent the country at the Africa Club Championship in April. Kenya Prisons, GSU and KPA are the main clubs that will travel to Libya in April for the Africa Club Championship, while KCB, Kenya Prisons and Kenya Pipeline are the women's club that will head to Abuja for the continental assignment.
We are opening the transfer, mid-window transfer tomorrow, 1st to 15th. And coaches have been doing, they are harvesting from other teams just to strengthen their teams. And I believe the 4th league leg would be a tough league.
GSU, one of Kenya's representatives at the Africa Championship, continued to prepare for the continental assignment with a comfortable 3-1 victory over KFS in the third leg of the KVF's Men League at Nyayo National Stadium. GSU won the first set 25-22 but went down 23-25 in the second set before reclaiming their lead in the remaining 2 sets 25-16 and 25-17.
We're doing a mix of indoor and outdoor. We are finally going to win off to 100% indoor for the league, so that whoever wins, whoever qualifies from here is already accustomed to playing indoors.
In other matches, Rift Valley Prisons defeated Trailblazers by 3-2 of 23-25, 25-16, 23-25, 25-19 and 11-15, while Equity thrashed Kapu in straight sets of 25-22, 25-21 and 25-12. The 4th leg of the KVF League will be played from the 27th of next month to 2nd of March.
Now, Kenya's USIU Women and Sikh Union Women's Hockey Team registered their second win in the ongoing Africa Cup for Club Championships, which entered the second day today in Ismailia, Egypt. USIU Women struggled to beat Mombasa Sports Club by a solitary goal in all Kenyan affair after they beat Egyptian Al Nassr 3-0 in their opening match. The other ladies' match played today. Sharkia of Egypt thrashed Kampala Hockey Club 5-0. Smoha Club registered an impressive 3-0 win over Al Nassr, while Delta Queens stunned their Nigerian counterparts, Kada Queens 2-0. In the men's matches, Sikh Union defeated their Kenyan counterparts USIU 2-0 to register their second win following a 4-3 defeat of Zamalek in their first match. Shakia of Egypt suffered a heavy 3-0 loss to Port Fodder as Niger Flickers lost 5-7 to Kada Stars in the 12-goal Nigerian thriller. The African Cup of Club Champions that has attracted 10 men and 10 women teams will end on the 7th of February. Former FKF Kenya Premium League champions Ulinzi Stars moved up to the 10th position in the standings after sharing the spoils today with relegation-threatened side Bidco United, who held them to a 1-1 draw at the Kenya Stadium in Machakos. Now, Jacob Oyango put Bidco United ahead in the 22nd minute before Ulinzi Stars leveled the scoreline in the 50th minute. Ulinzi now lies 10th in the league, standing with 23 points, while Bidco United remains in the relegation zone with 17 points. Two matches are on card tomorrow. Reigning champions Gor Mahia will face Posta Rangers at the Dandora Stadium, while Kakamega Homeboys will host Mara Sugar at the Mias Sports Complex. Kenya Police FC, who are not on schedule this weekend, top the league table with 36 points, while Gor Mahia is the second on goal difference. KCB is third with 28 points.
Tele Ochieng mimina ndani kule Tele! Kutokea nafasi ya 18 hadi nafasi ya 15, akiingia ndani uzuri Leshan Ole Motian mimina cross kule, lakini alikuwa amechezewa ndivyo sivyo. Leshan Ole Motian wakipata ikabu tena wanajeshi Ulinzi Stars. Tele Ochieng mimina ndani kule Tele! Kijana mdogo akili nyingi sana. Anarejesha mchezoni Tele Ochieng. Free kick matata mpaka kambani. Ulinzi Stars ya Tele Ochieng. Chini kwa chini ukadunda tu.
Now, still in the world of sports, former multiple world record holder Jocelyn Chepkosgei is set to make her debut at the Ras Al Khaimah half marathon tomorrow in the United Arab Emirates. Isaiah Lasoi, who finished third at last year's event, will be aiming for an even higher podium finish.
Chepkosgei, a former half-marathon world record holder in mixed gender fields, finished third at the 2024 London Marathon. She is also a former 10-kilometer world record holder, having set a time of 29 minutes and 43 seconds. Joining her in the race is Kenya's Judy Kemboi, who dominated the half-marathon scene last year with 3 straight wins, before setting a personal best with a runner-up finish at the 2024 Copenhagen half-marathon.
And I think that when you have a quality of field like that, pushing each other, we can produce very, very fast times. So we know that the course here in Ras Al Khaimah is perfect for knocking off those fast times. So I wouldn't be surprised to see course record go in the women's and maybe into the 63 minutes.
The two Kenyan runners will face stiff competition from Ethiopian athletes, including Ejgayehu Taye and Girawit Gebraziha.
Not so, but I have a little content. I heard it's a fast course and the weather is good, so it's possibly I can run a personal best, my good time.
I feel this is better for me. Yeah. Last year I ran 66 in Valencia, but I was not in a good shape. Yeah. But this year I hope for the good to break my PP to run 65. Yeah.
In the men's elite fields, Kenya's Isaiah Lasoi, who placed third at last year's event, is aiming for an even higher podium finish after setting a personal best of 58 minutes and 10 seconds at the 2024 Copenhagen half marathon.
I train well. I feel good on my training. The training mate help me nice in training. Even coach thank coach for coaching me. The coaching gives me food program.
He will be joined by Ethiopians Adam Lakabelihu and Gemechu Dida, who finished 4th at RAC in 2023, as well as Kenyan Commonwealth Games 5,000-meter silver medalist Nicholas Kipkorir.
The NCBA Golf Series is set to continue this weekend at the Nandi Bears Club. The series teed off with the first event last week at the Vet Lab Sports Club, where John Odhiambo and Mary Carano emerged as the overall winners in the men's and women's gross categories, respectively. The Nandi Bears Club event is expected to attract top golfers from the region, as well as Kakamega, Kericho and Eldred clubs, with the competitors looking forward to booking their slots for this year's grand finale in the meantime. Or rather, in the meantime, the Kenya Ladies Golf Union Chairman's prize continues to take center stage at Muthaiga Golf Club. Well, that was the sports that we have been updating you on the latest, and there'll be more on our website at kbc.co.ke, the sports section. Also, if you want to be updated on the business section, you also can find more stories there. My name is Wairi Mojenga. I've been your anchor for tonight, taking you through the day's news, and I put a cap on tonight's news. Up next is Kojax with the music that will take us through the night. My name is Wairi Mojenga. Have a good night.
Shilingi 1,000. Toka kwa hiyo sanduku. Stoki. Oh. Kesho yangu mkuri. Rudisha hiyo pesa kwa sanduku namba 10.
Ongeza ifike 50.
Kwa nini? Nataka ukule popcorn ukitizama runinga, sawa? 100,000 Kenya shillings! Inch TV Smart 1,000 Kenya shillings! Yes!
Sasa kama mimi ni kijana hivi, niko nyumbani, vijana wenzangu wengine wanafanya kazi, mimi niko nyumbani.
Najua si rahisi. Si rahisi. Nimeona ziko kila mahali.
Hizi basi zinaanza juu kwenye shingo, kifuani.
Niko na shida sana. Mwili wangu wote umejaa tezi wote.
I thank God for this organization. It has supported many people who were hopeless and they were revived, who are halfway dead and they are raised.
We are going to look at an organization like no other, an organization that saw a gap in childcare and decided to step in and offer solutions that were needed.
Look after the team that goes out into the communities to find these childcare facilities and train them, then bring them on board as franchisees in Kidogo.
I'm one of the mamapreneurs at Kidogo.
I take care of the children from 6 months to below 4 years.
We're looking at knowing the pair at scale, because childcare is a bit expensive and we can't really rely on maybe donor funding. So we're looking at who is this person who will come in to help pay at scale. Is it the government?
I'm sending you my pin location. Please send your boys in 45 minutes if I don't call back.
The man needs to know I'm spying on you. But that doesn't mean we are enemies. Then at least let's make it believable.
I am tired of cleaning your dirty mess each and every time, mother.
Who are you and how can I help you?
You can start by getting out of my way.
No one crosses me and gets away with it.
Give it a rest. The guy is dead.
Why do you want me to take a rest so hard?
Do you really want me to give the half SIM card to Kaikara?
Wow, nice try. I'll have Ruth drop them.
Why now?
Are you not tired?
You know when I find out you are involved katika abduction ya Alice, Mills and I will...
You will do what, Kaikara?